out, I just hustled. I mean, when they say hustle culture is a new thing, they should look back when I started. I mean, I hustled for every single penny. I mean, my venture started at quite a debt. I mean, nowadays it won't sound much. I was about £4,000 in the hole, which back then probably is the equivalent of 30,000. You know, for me that was a lot of money, and I wasn't earning that in a year. You know, I was earning that in about a year and a half, and I made the pledge that at the end of the year I would be debt free.
Wow.
Right, so I hustled. I bought and sold
How old were you?
cars. At that point, about 18.
Wow. Okay.
I bought and sold cars. I taught people to fly model aeroplanes and model helicopters because they needed lessons. I worked part-time in a model shop. I did all the overtime work I could do. Anything that was offered, I was there and I was working. And by the end of that year, I was actually £4,000 in credit. So I'd not just got out of debt.
Wow.
I'd got into credit, and that was the point where I knew that buffer was what you needed. You know, with that buffer of £4,000 at the time, that was like my contingency fund that allowed me to be able to move forward. So from that point on, if I had a problem with a car engine that blew up, or with I needed something. You've got the money, you're not borrowing, it's not costing you 30% more than you wanted to pay for it because you paid for it over time. It's not a drain on your finances. So that was quite a turning point. From there forward, it was a case of, just keep earning. I mean, I came from nothing. You know, my parents had no real money. My dad was fairly fixated on, or my mum probably, on pushing my dad to get the best house he could. So he would gradually move up in houses, but he'd never have much money to speak of. And I think that's sometimes quite good, because if you come from quite a lot of money,
you don't value it.
No, you're very, very lazy, really, because it's always there, isn't it? And if you've always got money, you'll burn it to get your business going. And I think you become more creative when you come from nothing.
Yeah.
And of course, started the businesses, rolled on from there,
So
which
what
is
are the first-
great. Really, I always wanted a model shop. So I did actually have a little job in between. So I did a business plan on a model shop,
What's a model
which...
shop?
Just radio controlled models, aeroplanes, cars,
So like
helicopters,
RC
sport.
cars
Yeah, that's it. And also all other models, so model trains. We did everything.
Yeah, some model cars here.
Yeah, it's all part of the drug, as it were. And I that's what I always wanted to do. So I drew out a business plan, saved up enough money, I thought, to get a bank loan and everything. And I spoke to some friends about it, one in particular, and lo and behold, a few weeks later, Model World, the shop, opened up.
Nice.
But it wasn't mine,
Oh.
because he'd stole my plans.
No.
Yeah. He opened up in exactly the place
Damn,
I was
you got
going to
me there,
open
eh?
up. Yeah. It just opened up, and I thought, well, that's it. It's all done.
Oh
But
my goodness.
when I look back, it was quite a reality
That's
check,
crazy.
really, because I didn't have enough money saved to be able to get the loan.
He was the only one who was bought.
Yeah, probably didn't have enough experience. And instead of jacking my job in, because I was working part-time for him in a model shop, I thought, no, I'll carry on for another 6 months and learn even more about the business.
So you didn't get angry and block him and like leave. You just worked for him.
Is there any point?
No.
No, not if
that-
you
that's
can
that,
keep
that.
learning.
You may as well just benefit as much as you
Yeah,
can.
exactly. So I carried on learning as much as I could, got as many contacts as I could, built my name and reputation, particularly with RC helicopters. And then after 6 months, he actually turned around and said, I'm fed up with doing this other shop. It's stretching me too much. I'm going to sell it. I said, right, I'm buying it. And that's what I did. So we bought this business.
Wow, but if he was not succeeding with it, like, did you not feel like maybe the market was not there, or it was not possible to make money from it? Because
Well,
you were doing it for 6 months.
I'd actually worked in it part-time a couple of days for him in his other store, and I knew why it wasn't working.
But you didn't tell him at that time?
Well, of course not, no. But the manager in the store that he'd put in there was
useless.
terrible, absolutely terrible. But he thought he was fantastic.
So you said, you'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice,
So we bought the business, and the day I bought it, I used every single penny I had. I mean, literally, I didn't have like an ashtray in the car with any change in it. I had nothing at all.
Empty.
And all I could do was go to work that day. I had a van. So I put a sleeping bag in the back of the van so I could sleep in it if I took no money, because I didn't even have enough gas in the tank to get me home. But that makes it work. You've got no option, have you?
No.
You make it work. If someone's come in your shop, they're going to buy something. Circumstances, really. If you can buy a house at 20 and, go along making the payments and so on, that is good for some. If you're the sort of person that's going to spend that money otherwise and waste it, then that is a good move because it's an enforced investment plan. If, however, you're the sort of person that can hustle and start a business and you need a bit of cash and a bit of collateral, why would you tie it up into a house when that could be your starting, your stepping stone or your starting money to get yourself going? Because let's say you're 20 and you buy a house. That house, if you stay in it and you make the payments, isn't going to be yours until you're about 45. All right? If you don't buy that house and you rent, and the money you needed for that deposit you started a business with, by the time you're 30, you could potentially buy that house outright.
True.
So it depends where you're coming from. And I think forced saving, stroke, if you want to call it investing, owning your own house, I don't personally believe it's an investment, but if you want to go down that route, for some, it is correct. And that's why there's so much debate about it, because people have to say it's either right or it's either wrong. It's neither. For me, I probably wouldn't have been able to borrow the money I borrowed to start my business if I hadn't have had a property. So I used that as collateral against the loan or security.
That makes sense.
Nowadays, that's possibly a little bit different. Okay, but certainly for me, I had to have a property to be able to move forward. That is for sure. And I like real estate.
Yeah.
I like the house I'm currently living in.
What do you think about the market right now? Is it worth investing in London right now and UK? I think generally asking, I don't know, should I invest in some real estate? Potentially.
I think it's very, very difficult to say at the moment. I don't think it's ever a wrong move to buy real estate if you're renting it out, because the rent isn't likely to ever go down. It's only ever likely to go one way. And obviously that rental income is paying for that property long term. So I don't think there's ever a wrong time to buy. Let someone will argue that. Someone will come on the comments now and they'll say, what if it's at its absolute peak? Well, you could say, yes, you'd be better to wait for 2 years, but you don't know that it's at its peak.
You never know.
No, nobody knows. And if you're renting it anyway, it makes no difference. You're still getting the same rent. And if you're keeping it long term for 10 years, the market's going to have recovered. So real estate, at what age?
22.
At 22, I would hope that most people would know how they want to go about making their money. I think a lot of people at 22, 23 are in a very difficult position because they've been somewhat forced down the university route, and they feel that one isn't the jobs for them they were promised, but of course there wasn't. University's a business. They're not interested in anything other than selling you a course and pushing you through university. And it puts you into quite a bad position because you're looking at jobs as being below you, so you won't take them. And if you don't take them, you don't gain any experience. So at 22, what would I say?
E-commerce, dropshipping.
Not necessarily. Try lots of things. Just try anything. Anything. It doesn't matter if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, if you're helping out a plumber. Just get out in the world, because you will learn a lot from being out in the world earning an honest living. You don't know where it's going to go to because you can't join the dots yet. What I would love to see is probably 50% of the people that go to universities not go, and instead embrace the trades, the various things that they could be doing.
Online
information, and then they'll be the business leaders of tomorrow. The people that go into university are going to universities to fit into a pigeonhole, into a job, be that a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it happens to be. And we need those, without a doubt. I'm not against university, but the business leaders of the future, a lot of them won't be going or don't need to go.
True.
They know where they're at. They don't need that entrepreneurial spirit beaten out of them at university or at school. They need to get out there and